Hey, host team. So, I am doing a video this week instead of writing. I was going to write this week, but there's something that I want to tell you, and I want you to look me in the eye when you hear me say it. I was spending some time this morning in prayer, and when I do huddle content, like coming up with the topics and stuff like that, I always want to know what God has to say to you, what He's going to use me to say to you. So I hope that you know that your heart is the number one goal behind every single huddle. So I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do huddle on this weekend, and I wasn't really hearing anything. But this morning, God just made it very, very clear. Um, I want to tell you something that God has shared with me in the past, and He reminds me of it all the time. But something happens when it clicks in your heart, and no longer do you understand it from your head perspective, but you understand it 18 inches lower into your heart. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but sometimes you can know something, but not really know it. So today, I I just want you to know it. I want you to know it because it is the foundation for everything in our lives, whether it be in our relationships, whether it be in our job, whether it be um, just anything, handling circumstances in life. So, I just want to share with you something about my personal life. Um, I noticed I don't a lot of you may notice that I don't do a lot on the YouVersion Bible app, which I apologize, I should. But I'll tell you why. The reason I don't is because this is this is my Bible. This is what I read. Because I don't really want to hear man's perspective on what this says. I want to hear what God's perspective is on what He says. Here's the thing about Bible apps: they are great. I want you to do them, and I do them, just not regularly because this is the thing that I focus on more than what other people have to say about this. Um, but let me say this: I read books on what this says. I I want to know as much as I possibly can. So, with that being said, I want to share with you something that I read in here that has really stuck out to me, and I think that you need to know. I think you already do know it, but I want it to be known. Um, so I, the story of Moses gets me every time. There was a time in my life when I was going through a really, really tough struggle. It was a bad time in my life. To be honest with you, Barrett and I were separated, and I did not know how I was going to make it through the day outside of Jesus. He was the one that gave me the courage and the strength to make it through each and every day. Um, and when I was going through that, Moses came up every single day. I kid you not. It was one of those things where I would think I was going to a Bible study about the Gospels, and then come to find out it was about Moses. I couldn't get away from it, and I was like, "Dang, 40 years is a long time," and I felt like I was living 40 years. Um, so that was back probably almost 10 years ago, almost. Um, so this morning, God brought me back to Moses. It's not that I haven't read anything about Moses in 10 years, it's just that it hasn't settled in my heart the way it did back in those days. So this morning, I'm reading about the Israelites and just how oppressed they were, and just hard. Life was hard. Um, but then I read something, and it struck gold with my heart. And it's something I tell people when they're grieving. There's a saying that I say when people are grieving or when they just cannot make sense of things. But for some reason, it just hit me hard today, that saying. And I'm going to read to you what it was that provoked me to want to share this with you, and then I'll tell you what the saying is. All right, so I'm reading from Exodus 4, and I'm going to read from 29 to 31. And just remember, the Israelites, just remember what I said earlier. The Israelites had just been so oppressed, so oppressed. I mean, like, Pharaoh was killing off their kids. We don't know that kind of persecution. We just don't. So here I go. Verse 29. Moses and Aaron brought together all the elders of the Israelites, and Aaron told them everything the Lord had said to Moses. He also performed the signs before the people, and they believed. Remember that. They believed. And when they heard that the Lord was concerned about them, and he had seen their misery, they bowed down and they worshiped. This is what stuck out to me. So, the saying that I always say is, from the bottom of my heart, God is for you and God is with you. So, this is why this is so important. The Israelites were just so down. They were turning from God. They had no hope. They had nothing. But the very minute that Moses and Aaron shared what God was doing and what God said, that God had seen their struggles, he was watching them, and that he was for them, and that he was with them, and that he had a plan for them. It changed everything for the Israelites. They bowed down and they worshiped. It was like they were trudging through life in persecution until they heard those words. God is for you. He has seen what you are going through, and he is with you. It changed everything, and it changed the trajectory of their lives. Host team people, it is the same for you. It is the same for you. God is for you. He sees you. He sees what you're going through. He sees your struggle. Whatever it is that you're going through, whether it is joy, whether you are on the top of the mountain and you can't get enough of Jesus, or you have just had life trod over you and you feel like you are under the weight, God is there with you. He sees you. He is for you. Take that in. Take it in. Write it down somewhere. Get a tattoo. Remind yourself. I don't care what you do. Remember those words. God is for you and God is with you all the time. There is nothing you can do. If you are a child of God, if you have given him permission to be your Lord and to save you from yourself, from the things that you do that separate you from him, then there is nothing you can do. He is for you and he is with you. You can't earn it. You can't do anything to make it happen. It just is, because that's the kind of God he is. Embrace it, folks. Embrace it. Share it. Love it. Let's do it on the weekend. Let's show everyone that walks through our doors that God is for us and God is with us. And he is the same for every single person that walks through our doors. Host team, I love you. I want you to know that beyond a shadow of a doubt. And I want you to know that I am for you and I am with you, but not like God. No one on this planet can be there for you and with you like our God. No one. But that's okay, because we got him. All right, guys, I'm sorry that this was long, but this was important. All right, I will see you this weekend. Bye.